Have you ever heard a story that sends a shiver down your spine? A tale that makes you pull the blankets a little tighter at night? Today, I want to take you to a place that has been the subject of whispers for over a century. Blackwood Manor. Nestled deep in the countryside, miles from the nearest town, this sprawling mansion stands as a decaying monument to a forgotten era. By day, it's a photographer's dream, with ivy clinging to its stone walls and sunlight filtering through broken panes of glass. But when the sun sets, a different story unfolds. Locals have long avoided the path that leads to Blackwood. They speak of strange lights flickering in the windows and, more chillingly, of voices. Faint, disembodied whispers that drift on the night wind. They say if you listen closely enough, you can hear them, the echoes of a family tragedy that unfolded within those walls long ago. The story goes that the Blackwood family, once wealthy and respected, vanished without a trace one winter's night in 1898. There were no signs of a struggle, no bodies found. They were simply gone. But what if I told you that some believe they never truly left? That their spirits are trapped, forever replaying their final, desperate moments? This is the story of Blackwood Manor, a place where the past isn't just remembered, it's relived every single night. The legend begins with Lord Alistair Blackwood, a man known for his stern demeanor and his obsession with esoteric artifacts. He had spent a fortune traveling the world, collecting items rumored to hold ancient power. His wife, Lady Eleanor, was a gentle soul, beloved by the staff for her kindness. She was often seen walking the gardens, lost in thought, a constant sadness in her eyes. They had two children, young Thomas and little Clara. By all accounts, it was a household filled with secrets, a place where opulence masked a deep, underlying tension. The night they disappeared, a fierce blizzard had swept through the region, cutting the manor off from the rest of the world. The servants, huddled together in their quarters, later reported hearing a series of strange sounds. First, a low, rhythmic chanting seemed to emanate from Lord Blackwood's private study, a room no one else was ever allowed to enter. This was followed by a sudden, piercing scream, Lady Eleanor's voice. They swore in then. An unnerving silence that was deeper and more absolute than the snow-muffled world outside. When dawn broke, the staff ventured into the main house. Everything was in its place. A fire still smoldered in the hearth, and a half-finished chess game sat on a table in the parlor. But the family was gone. A frantic search of the entire estate revealed nothing. The only clue was in Lord Blackwood's study. The door was ajar, and inside, the room was in disarray. Books were thrown from shelves, and in the center of the floor was a circle of black salt, disturbed as if by a sudden gust of wind. In the middle of the circle lay a single, small object, a silver locket belonging to little Clara. Decades passed. The manor fell into disrepair, its story slowly turning from a local mystery into a chilling folktale. It was during the 1950s that the first reports of strange occurrences began to surface. Teenagers, daring each other to spend a night within its walls, would come running out, pale and terrified, claiming they heard whispers. They described hearing a man's angry, booming voice, a woman's desperate sobs, and the frightened cries of children. These sounds seemed to move through the house, echoing in the grand ballroom, the long, dark hallways, and up the main staircase. One of the most compelling accounts comes from a paranormal investigation team who visited the manor in the late 1980s. They set up their equipment throughout the house, including audio recorders and EMF meters. They spent the first few hours in absolute silence, the only sounds being the creaking of the old house and the wind whistling through the eaves. Then, just after midnight, their equipment went wild. On their recordings, they captured what paranormal experts call electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs. The first was a clear, masculine voice saying it was not meant for them. This was followed by a woman's soft weeping and a faint whisper that sounded like "save the children." The most disturbing sound, however, was captured near the children's old nursery. It was the distinct sound of a little girl humming a lullaby, a melody that would suddenly stop and be replaced by a single, terrified word: hide. The investigators also reported seeing shadowy figures moving in their peripheral vision and experiencing sudden, dramatic drops in temperature in certain rooms, particularly in Lord Blackwood's study. They left the manor before sunrise, convinced that some form of residual energy, a psychic imprint of the tragic events, was trapped within its walls. They believed the voices were not intelligent hauntings, but rather an endless loop of that fateful night, playing over and over again like a scratch on a record. So what really happened to the Blackwood family? The prevailing theory centers on Lord Alistair's obsession. It's believed that he was attempting a powerful and dangerous ritual in his study that night, perhaps trying to unlock the power of one of his artifacts. Something went terribly wrong. Did he open a doorway to another dimension, inadvertently pulling his family through with him? Or did he unleash a malevolent force that consumed them all? The angry male voice could be Lord Blackwood, frustrated with his failed ritual. The sobbing woman could be Lady Eleanor, realizing the terrible danger they were in. And the children's cries, their pleas to hide, they are the most heartbreaking echoes of all. Another, less supernatural theory suggests a more human explanation. Perhaps Lord Blackwood was involved with a dangerous secret society related to his artifact collecting. Could they have come to the manor that night, under the cover of the storm, to reclaim something he had taken? This could explain the struggle in the study and the family's disappearance. In this version of the story, the voices are merely the psychological echoes of a brutal crime, the house itself holding onto the memory of the terror that unfolded within. But this doesn't fully explain the consistency of the reports over so many years. People who know nothing of the manor's history have described hearing the same things: the man's command, the woman's sorrow, the children's fear. It is as if the house itself is trying to tell its story to anyone brave enough to listen. I once spoke to an old man who had lived in a nearby village his whole life. He told me that when he was a boy, his grandfather made him promise never to go near Blackwood Manor after dark. His grandfather claimed to have been one of the first to enter the house the morning after the family vanished. He said the silence was the most terrifying part. A house that was usually bustling with life was as quiet as a tomb. But he also said he heard one last thing as he was leaving: a faint, almost inaudible whisper from upstairs that sounded like a little girl saying, "He's coming." This detail was never in any official report. It was a memory an old man had carried with him his entire life, a chilling footnote to a public mystery. It adds another layer to the puzzle. Who was he? Was it Lord Blackwood, consumed by whatever he had summoned? Or was it something else entirely? Today, Blackwood Manor is on private property, and trespassing is forbidden. The fences are higher now, and the warnings are more direct. But still, the stories persist. Hikers on nearby trails sometimes report seeing a flicker of candlelight in an upper window. Unclear. Quiet nights. Those living miles away claim they can sometimes hear a faint cry carried on the wind, a sound of pure despair that seems to come from the direction of the old estate. The mystery of Blackwood Manor is a perfect example of how a place can become a vessel for a story. The echoing voices are more than just a ghost story. They are the remnants of a family's final moments, a sonic scar left on the very fabric of the building. Whether you believe in the supernatural or prefer a more rational explanation, the fact remains that for over a century, people have heard these echoes. They have heard the anger, the sorrow, and the fear. The voices of Blackwood Manor are a timeless and terrifying reminder that some stories don't end. They just wait in the darkness, ready to be heard again. They are a testament to the power of a place to hold onto its past and to whisper its secrets to those who dare to step into the silence and listen. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to the heart of a chilling legend. What do you think happened to the Blackwood family? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next one.